What's going on, everybody? Core Conversations for Wednesday and Dad Goals. Bam! As always, had a great conversation with Danica yesterday. So today I want to follow up with that with more of just an organic conversation around the fact that she called me out on something, and I thought it was good. I thought it was a healthy conversation, and want to build off of that. How you doing, Tammy? Custom cores, how are you? I'm going to talk about my title in a minute. Explore Flies, I'm glad you enjoyed yesterday. We're going to talk some more about the conversation around success, me being called out, and some other stuff. So thanks for all the reposts and the ways that we keep these conversations going. I really, really do appreciate you. And watching the replay, I was just laughing again at the infomercial piece. So true. It's a freestyle, so if you want to join me on screen, just request to join live. I have one person I'm hoping to bring on just on a separate topic. Yes, understatement. Which one? Actually, understatement is not true. So actually, Anita, if you want to join me, that'd be a great setup. If you got a second, just to talk and recap some of the conversation from yesterday. I don't want things to fall to the ground and die when it comes to the conversation. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many good nuggets that come out, and I'm thinking about all the different ways that we can recycle and make sure that as many people hear these things as possible.
Hello.
Oh, that was fast. Oh
I
my
know,
goodness.
right? Are you still
Hello.
still scrambling to get your spot?
I know. Yeah. It's always an issue. Here we go. I'm just gonna sit down on my step.
All right. Good stuff. Okay.
Oh,
There's a
yeah,
guy.
I forget what I said, understatement of the century too, but you probably saw by my reaction and all the times I reposted that twice on my
Oh,
story.
did you? The
You know,
infomercial
so
piece about or
just
the
about your conversation with Danica yesterday because it was so awesome. I mean, just the flow, all your conversations are great, but this one hit me like, you know, where you get like, it's like, it was almost like acupuncture for the soul because
Oh
it was
wow. Yeah.
zing, 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 everything she said. And I was like, yeah, yeah, oh, yeah.
Pretty accurate. She's so smart, right? And like she's like it's gonna sound weird to say unassuming smart, but she's so disarming in the way that she talks and presents and everything's so cool. And then she hits you with something that's so wise. You're like, yes, that. Let me write that down. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes, yes. Well, and she's a very embodied speaker. So she speaks like Uh, and I also noticed this in you when you're talking about her, you start moving a different way. So to listen and to watch Danica speak is to kind of like enter into her universe of this mind,
Yes.
body, soul connection so that like,
Yes.
you know, sometimes we get cerebral and we're like, I think this is the right thing I want to convey. This is the idea I'm trying to go for. And she's like, no, she lives in her words.
Yes.
So I loved that. Loved that.
Yes. Amazing. Coach K and Michael Brown are in the room. How you guys doing? I'm gonna actually invite Kadeen to come on in a minute too. But The thing, there's a few things I want to talk about from today, and yes, what was it? The infomercial piece I know was hilarious, but I wanna back up on that infomercial piece because she made a good point, and at the time, I wasn't offended when she called me out, but I want to bring that back up again. The fact that, and for those of you who didn't watch yesterday, we were talking about the need to capture what we need as trainers for success and what we need to capture to help people to be successful, not just in Pilates, but in whatever field, wherever they're putting their hands to. There are some different metrics other than how much money you make or how much money your boss is making that make it successful, which is a segue to a conversation I'm going to have with Coach K in a second. But so she said that, and I said, there was a time when I was thinking about writing a book. A coworker and myself were thinking about writing this book for personal trainers on what the complete trainer looks like. And after a while, it kind of just fizzled out because we're like, you're preaching to the choir. Like, the person who wants to get better is going to read it, but the person who's horrible that needs it to read it isn't going to read it. So we're like, nah, no one's going to read it. And Dan was like, hold on a second.
I have so many thoughts about that, I don't even know where I can't even ministry. Okay. So sometimes, like, when people go through a conversion, they're like, they surround themselves with people, it can be a religious conversion, it could be exercise conversion. Let's say you just discovered Pilates,
revelation, and now you want to share it. Yeah.
You find that community, and all of a sudden you're like, wait, I'm like, this stuff is so good. Do I share it within my community or do I go outside of the community? So going back to, let's go back to church. So it's like, are you going to preach to the choir, or like maybe there are people who we know that church is for the broken, right? We know that from top to bottom. Yeah. So, and that's, it's like, we need to build up the church. So if we know that about church, preaching to the choir is actually a really important service.
Fair. You're right.
Yeah. It's right, never lost. It's never lost on somebody because you're in the same pew or you're in the same church, you're in the same group, you're in the same thing. Like, it's going to help everybody help everyone else.
That resonates. That does resonate. I mean, I think that if we come from a place of, like I just said before, no one's going to read it, no one's going to listen, the person I really want to hear is not going to hear it, so I'm not going to write it for anybody, then we're really not helping anybody at all.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, I was actually surprised when I heard you say that, kind of like backtracking from your book idea, and I was like, oh, Danny called you out.
I'll own it. That's fine. That's why we're talking about it again. Because like that's it. I mean, and I think that even at a principal level, that's the thing, and this is for everyone who's watching now, at a principal level, that's the thing that I received that challenge, and I also want to extend that challenge to everybody else, is that if you have something as a vision, have something in your heart that you want to do, whatever field or endeavor it is, just go for it. Like, don't talk yourself out of it. Like, I totally talked myself out of that like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever it was.
I'm
now
just
I'll be revisiting.
Collect myself for a minute because you're getting to my heart. You just threw it right back at me.
Yeah. Well, that's it, right? Like, I mean, like I gotta spread the love, right? So I hear that, and I hear that on so many levels for new projects. I think since then, there's a lot of projects that I just like, let me just throw that out there. I don't care. But maybe at that time and stage of life, there were so many things going on, and that was it was a semi-toxic environment and stuff. So you get this place where you're like, I'm not gonna waste my time on that.
Yeah.
So that context, if I'm to dive deeper on this, that context that I was in robbed me of the opportunity to be a blessing to other people.
Sure. Yeah, and there is such a thing as all in good time.
Yes.
So it takes time for an idea to mature.
Yep.
But I think Pilates gives us really good wisdom here. Like when people can't do roll up, or I'm sorry, they can't do roll over. So it's not that they can't do it, they can't do it yet. So
Yes.
it's not a no, it's a not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
One of my favorite sayings is the right thing at the wrong time is the wrong thing.
Right. I mean, wrong.
So there is that element of timing to it. But there's a difference in being sensitive to timing and shutting something down because of from an imposter syndrome perspective, you're not good enough, it's not good enough, it's not quality enough, I'm not gonna get enough eyes on it, I'd be wasting my time.
Right.
You
And
know,
I
when
thought
do we yeah.
that was so clever for Danica to say infomercials.
Infomercials.
And I was like, where is she going with this?
Yes.
But it's
Infomercials.
absolutely brilliant. That was where she like just nailed it on the head. You hit the nail on the head. Like,
Yep.
yeah, these people had this tiny little idea and they went with it. And here we are with these tiny little ideas. They're all brilliant because, you know, like everybody in the Pilates community has a brilliant idea. It's
Absolutely.
an intelligent form of exercise. We have to study so many things. We've all, with the exception of people who have grown up doing Pilates, and that's, you know, they've sort of fallen into it's like a family tradition or something, or I feel like we bring everything. I think you've talked about this too before. We bring everything that we've learned and our experience from other trades into Pilates.
Yes.
And yeah, so it's a very wise form of movement, and it requires us to have all pistons firing. So, you know, like it's not like it would be hard. I'd be hard pressed to find a Pilates teacher who has a bad idea. I might, you know, like even when people don't agree about what's a good idea in Pilates, but Pilates itself, like. I would say I benefited a lot from what would be considered bad Pilates. You know, it was still good.
That I think Danica touched on it yesterday. That's what we call wisdom. Like when you can decipher from a bad experience what truth you need for your life to move forward.
Mm-hmm. Very well said. Very wise.
Yes. Frankie Fitness, like a perfect example of that, right? Do I have the book right here? I have it right here. So my man Jason Williams, a perfect example of someone who's doing Pilates bar and decided to write a children's book.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Right. So sorry about the ring light glare, but we have different things that we are so multifaceted and so multi-talented that we can hide those gifts under a rock, or we can just jump out and do that thing that we feel we're called to do, right? So once again, shout out to Frankie Fitness. We have this very mindful coloring book / active book that has the exercises at the end, and he's got a collaboration with a teddy bear that I just saw in his posting now too. So pretty sick stuff. He's doing great work. So check out Frankie Fitness. There you go. Plug him. Thank you to Danica for calling me out, and thank you to Anita for bringing that back up again. Super fun. And actually, I have some different people. Like Trey Arts is a guy that's in the Toronto area, and he's an artist. And he does like, we've gone to his paint nights, and they're just like so dynamic. And then when we had to make this pivot to this online quarantine world, he started doing them virtually. And he has like a whole new set of followings as a result of it. Yes, actually, Trey, you know what I'm gonna do, Anita? If you want to join us, and Jason Williams, if you want to join us, and Kay, if you want to join us, I'm gonna have some different faces in this space. Nice. It should be pretty fun because they're all in different arenas. But yes, it all comes back to stuff like this. The book is honestly amazing, Trey. You would love this.
Wow.
And I'm going to share, every single time I open this book, I turn to the exact same page where they're talking about how his mom and sister does Pilates. And then right here, Frankie's dad enters the room. Can dad go to Pilates class too? Yes, he can. Yes, dad can.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what's up.
And
So
dads are the first ones who should be doing it. But like many things in family dynamics, it's the moms who bring the dads in.
I like we are talking about infomercials before, and I've worked with a shopping channel for years, and in those things, even when it's a men's product, they speak to the women on the camera because they know that there's a woman at home saying, my husband who's sitting on the couch doing nothing needs this, and I'm buying it for him. So they don't even market to men. They just market to the woman in the man's life.
It's been like a 10-year journey asking my husband, do you want to do Pilates? Oh, no, that's your thing. I'm fine with my swimming. No, you really need Pilates. 6 years ago, I was thinking, oh my goodness, his posture is going to lead him to back pain and herniated disc in the neck.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say I was right. Then he started Pilates.
Good.
And he was like, oh, it helps with the pain. But he didn't keep up with it regularly. As soon as he lapsed, he had severe back pain, and as he was writhing in pain, he was like, I'm gonna do Pilates every day now. He was like,
you're like airing your husband's laundry on air. You realize that, right?
Oh yeah, no, I gotta tell it like it is, because it was my accomplishment too. It's like,
yes,
yeah, I got him to that point finally where he like really realized.
yeah. Did you put like lumpy stuff in the mattress so his back is really jacked up? And be like, I need Pilates, my back. It must have.
Oh no, I should have done. Avoid this situation. Yeah. No, now he really appreciates it. And now he's like, why aren't there more people doing this? I don't know.
Thank you. That's the whole thing. I'm not going to say who it is, but I have a friend and colleague who has referred her husband to me, and I meet with him for Pilates now, where she's like, I give up. Here's another guy. Go talk to him.
Right.
And he's loving it. It makes sense for his golf. And he's like,
yes.
He'll work hard and it makes sense in his body. And then he'll drop off because he hasn't been doing his own practice on his own. So he's like, I don't want to meet with him again because I haven't been doing anything. So we're still working through that, but like he's taking ownership of it. So for all the female Pilates instructors out there that have a man in your life who is not seeing the value of Pilates, send them my way or send it to some other guy in your world's way. Because like Jason or, there's so many guys that are doing this now. So
sometimes you need a Timothy.
Right. Thank you.
And so you'll be the Timothy for all the men who need to do Pilates.
Yes. Love your biblical references today. Got this.
I don't know. I woke up like this and it's just all coming out of me.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you so much. I always love our little like impromptu chats.
Me too.
People like asking me to get you on, so we need to figure out a time to actually have spend an hour with you. So
thank you. I would love that. Yeah, and I'll think about stuff, because you got to mature the material before you go live with Martin.
You so dope. What was the material today? We've talked for like 20 minutes, and we just gone off on whatever.
Yeah, no, because there was a precedent. But anyhow, that's my perfectionism coming through.
Right. Yeah. We'll talk about perfectionism. There you go. There's our topic.
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna bring some other people on. Thank you so much for jumping on with me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for inviting me.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.